Well, hey everyone, it's Marcus and welcome to more chatting in my jungle room. I'm going up to the Gold Coast today where I am speaking to Vanessa Perica. Vanessa, hey, how are you?
I'm well, thanks, Marcus. How are you?
Good, thank you. You've just flown into the Gold Coast and you've just settled in your hotel room and I'm the first person to come knocking. Wow.
Yep,
I'm
fabulous.
so,
I love
I'm lucky.
it.
So what are you
No,
doing at the Gold Coast?
so I'm here for the Ministry of Sound Classical Tour. We're performing tomorrow night at the Home of the Arts, Hotter. So this is my fourth year of conducting the tour, and it's pretty epic. So I'm looking forward to that.
And is that on tonight, is it?
Tomorrow night, yeah. So I've
No,
got a bit of downtime tonight to prepare, and then it's all on tomorrow.
can breathe a little bit. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
you were just showing me the view out the window there before. I mean, you've got an amazing view of the ocean. It looks lovely. I mean, let's be honest, it's not a hard gig, right?
I do love it. It's physically quite demanding, actually. I get really I feel it after like I've been hit by a truck, but I do love it. It's great. But this is like a massive perk. It's great.
It's that cherry on
It's
top. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. I love traveling with my music. It's great.
Now, I mean, you are obviously doing great things in the industry. You're an ARIA nominated composer and conductor. Like, how does it feel when you get those kind of accolades? How does that make you feel?
Well, it's such a lonely existence being a composer sometimes. So those accolades do help you to sort of keep going a little bit, just make sure you feel like you're on the right track. So, yeah, you don't want to focus too much on awards, but certainly it does help, when you're talking with festivals and other international things, those sorts of things on the CV do give you a bit of a boost to get those next gigs. So, yeah, I'm very grateful for those sorts of moments. Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, always keep it humble, but it's always kind of nice, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. I got the shock of my life with the Aria Nom. That was
Yeah.
really unexpected as a big band leader. But yeah, I'll take it any day.
And you always
Yeah,
got to do something to keep the family and your friends proud, right?
I do my
Otherwise,
best.
like, what's Vanessa doing? Oh my God, she's just lazing around Australia again.
True is true.
Hey, excitedly, you are about when you've wrapped up that from the 7th of May to the 22nd of May, you're working with the Australian String Quartet on the tour Rapture, which of course is coming to Adelaide, so I'm very excited. And tell us about that because, well, first of all, that's coming to Mount Barker on the 7th of May, and then Adelaide, University of Adelaide on the 16th of May. What can we expect from Rapture?
Well, it's an incredible program, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. So, one of the pieces will be my first string quartet that I've written for a classical string quartet, and it's about 20 minutes long. It's called No Feeling Is Final, and yeah, I mean, it's been the biggest honor of my career being commissioned by the ASQ. They're phenomenal and world class. And we've been workshopping the piece over the last few months in preparation for the Rapture tour. And it's just been such a joy getting to know them a bit better and refining the piece. And I'm really excited for audiences to hear it. So yeah, it's a big deal for me, and I'm very grateful to the ASQ for trusting me with writing this work.
I'm so looking forward to seeing what you do with them creatively because I just saw them at I think it was the end of last year in Adelaide Town Hall. I mean, well, to start with, I mean, that place is just acoustically beautiful. So when you put in the Australian String Quartet, it's like next level. So I'm
Right.
really excited to see them again, but this time with you, with Rapture. Now, the piece you were just talking about, the 20-minute piece, it's somewhat semi autobiographical. God, I can't even say the word.
Autobiographical, yes, yes,
Tell us
yes.
about that.
So I had a bit of a tumultuous year last year where my husband of 22 years, my partner in music and life, Carl, saxophone player, he's on tour with me now. He's just gone out for a little walk. Um, he had to have unexpected open heart surgery, which was a bit terrifying for us. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I had to complete this commissioned work. So, it was a stressful time, but at the same time, I found much solace in writing this piece. It was very grounding for me, and it gave me so much to write about because I love telling a story. So, it's very emotional work for me. And like, for instance, the third movement literally says at the top of their parts, "Day of surgery," dreamlike, And for me, the start of that was me saying goodbye to him as he was wheeled down the hallway and not quite knowing if I'd see him again. And that was terrifying and something that will stay with me forever. But at the same time, I'm incredibly grateful to the nurses and surgeons at Royal Melbourne Hospital who took such incredible care of him. And he's doing great now. He's playing saxophone and touring. And yeah, so it's remarkable. But so that sort of follows a lot of that for the second and third movement. And then not long after his operation, he was still very much in tender recovery mode. I was scheduled to attend a symposium in Nashville, and that was as part of a APRA professional development award that I had won. And then I was going to New York after that as well. And I didn't feel comfortable leaving him. He was still in a very raw state, after that kind of very serious surgery. And it was beautiful of him. He said, "Don't you dare cancel. I would never forgive you." And off I went to the States. And it was a very fulfilling trip for me. But it was scary to leave him so soon after the surgery. But yeah, so and then that was a very inspiring time being around some of my favorite musicians. And so the fourth movement is very jazz infused, exciting finale. So it's by no means doom and gloom. I actually think it's quite an uplifting piece, but it's a real journey. So yeah, I'm proud of it, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with audiences. I hope they enjoy it.
Do you find when you play it, I'm not sure how many times you've played it in a performance so far, but when you do play it, or when you're about to play it, when you start this tour, do you find yourself going into an emotional space, or are you quite removed from it emotionally when you play it?
Oh no, I'm so invested. I've only heard it played once from start to finish. So it's interesting, when we workshopped it, we sort of worked there are 4 movements, so we really worked from movement to movement. So it's not until we had a bit of a preview at Dunkeld Festival late March that Carl and I were invited to attend, and we got to see it for the first time from start to finish, and that was deeply emotional. And I sense that it's going to stay that way with me, because the piece means so much to me, from a private standpoint with what the story was about, but also because this piece means a great deal to me professionally. Like I care deeply for the ASQ, and I want them to love it. So there's a lot invested in this piece. Yeah, and I really hope that audiences, once again, as I've said before, enjoy it too. So I don't know. I'm all in there. So I don't know if it'll subside a little bit over the course of the tour, but certainly the first daring, I was just like, ah.
Hey, so speaking of your husband, how did he respond, to your inspiration of what he went through when he heard this piece? How did he respond?
Well, the thing is, because he's been by my side as a musician, like he plays lead alto saxophone in my jazz orchestra as well. So he's my go-to person when I'm in the middle of writing something at the piano, and I'll go, "Hey, can you check out this? What do you think of this?" So he was probably aware quite early on that I was, feeding off his journey. But yeah, I mean, he really loved hearing it at Dunkeld. That was, I think, a very emotional moment for him as well, and he's very proud of the piece as well. So yeah, I'm wrapped. yeah.
That's really pretty. Now, I found this really quite interesting about you. You found inspiration in Leonard Bernstein's response to the assassination of John F. Kennedy. I need to read this. This will be our reply to violence, to make music more intensely, more beautiful, more devotedly than ever before. Tell me, how did you find the inspiration in that? I mean, it's quite obvious, it's very inspiring, but what did you get out of it?
Well, I think I went to see Candide, an opera musical theatre piece.
Hilarious, isn't it? Isn't it great?
Yeah, amazing. It was fantastic. Wow. And it was actually in the director's notes, and I was like, wow, and like it really hit me hard, and so that's sort of, and that's as I was writing the first movement, so that's why I kind of stumbled across that. I had seen it before, but it sort of reappeared, and I thought that is beautiful because as artists, like sometimes I feel a bit like I'm not contributing enough to society. I wish I could do more like incredible, nurses and doctors and,
Mm.
humanitarian aid workers. And I just sometimes go, oh gosh, but I feel like, well, music can be very healing. And so that's kind of, that's all I know that I can do at this moment. So I'm just going to dig deep and try and offer something which I hope is beautiful to the world in a time of huge uncertainty. And like, well, that to me popped up in February last year. So, I mean, it's not a whole lot different now, is it?
No. And you know what, Vanessa? I mean, let's talk about that for a minute because I find this very interesting. But you know what? Music isn't rocket science.
Mm,
Writing, all of that, it's not rocket, but rocket science isn't writing music either.
mm,
It's all valid. It's all very equal,
yeah.
and all of it can be uplifting. All of it can, inspire and, push us to greater things as human beings. At the end of the day, it's everything. We need it all. Hey, so go back to your early days as a composer. What inspired you back then?
I had a bit of an unusual upbringing with my music. I grew up in a Croatian household where I listened to Croatian pop.
Love it.
Uh, but I did do classical piano lessons from an early age. So I think that's a big foundation of me musically. And then I actually picked up the trumpet when I was 10 years old and played in really bad stage bands in high school and really loved it. And so, but yeah, I think the classical piano was a really big part of me. But I was really green when I entered the West Australian Academy of Performing Arts, WAPA, as it's known, as a jazz trumpet performance major. I didn't even know who Miles Davis was. It was really like, I can't believe I got in a way.
Uh-huh.
But I once I stepped into that conservatorium, I was hooked and so inspired. Like I had so many amazing peers that including Carl, who I fed off and learned from. So, yeah, but my early experiences in big band, like playing trumpet, was huge for me, and that's why I've fallen in love with big band writing. And I have my own jazz orchestra, my 18 piece that we play with when we can. It's hard to put on a big band gig financially, but we do so every now and then. So yeah, that's kind of been my journey, classical morphing into the jazz, and that's how I've kind of come to this point in my career where I'm sort of straddling both genres, and yeah, I'm happy to be in either or both or wherever. I don't really care about where I sit as long as it's good music. That's kind
Long
of how I.
creating. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
outside of the classical and jazz genre, what other musical genre inspires you? Who's doing some really good stuff that you're like, hey, I love that. I dig it.
Oh, I'm a bit stuck in my jazz realm. And you know what? I've just been listening to the Ministry of Sound soundtrack for the last week, preparing for. Who else do I listen to? I mean, one of my, oh, but he's no longer with us, but one of my greatest influences is Ennio Morricone, the film composer who wrote Cinema Paradiso, which is one of my all-time favorite. So his melodic writing is just out of this world to me and unparalleled. But who's doing cool things? I mean, yeah, I'm a bit obsessed with jazz, I have to admit. So look, it's hard for me to think outside of the box a little bit at this very moment. But in terms of jazz, I love like Maria Schneider. She's a Grammy Award winning
Yes.
composer, conductor who's just really at the top of her game. So she's someone who really inspires me. So, but yeah, I'm not. It's interesting when I'm in the middle of writing a commissioned work. I actually shut off the listening for a little bit because I'm very committed to listening to my own voice, and I don't want to be a.
Influence. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really
I get that.
striving to find something original. So I'll actually like Carl might go, "Hey, check out this cool recording. I'm like, oh, I can't listen to this right now. Blah, blah, you know.
La 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 la.
That's been a week. Like save it. Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of go into my own shell in a search for my own voice. Yeah.
Hey, last question for you, Vanessa. So what can we expect from Rapture? The people that are out there buying the tickets, what can we expect from the night?
Well, I've been to see the ASQ a few times now, and they quite honestly blow me away. They are technically, virtuosically incredible. Like they just literally blow my mind. But it's more than that. Their musicality is just so deep, and they're so emotionally in touch with everything they play. Like every bar means so much. And so I walk away from every performance that they do just feeling super inspired. And I hope that people will walk away. I'm sure they will. They'll walk away very inspired after this performance because, it's as it's been described, a very emotional program on all fronts with all four composers from the Beethoven, Janáček, and the Golijov. We are all presenting very emotionally in touch works, and I think that's really nice. We're all telling our own stories in different times of in different periods of life, and I just think I'm just really excited to hear it all. I haven't heard the whole concert as performed from Go to Woe, so I can't wait to hear it on the 7th at Eucharia. And I've never been to Eucharia. I hear it and I see that it's spectacular, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I just encourage everyone to go see them because it's world-class music making, incredible.
Australian String Quartet tour Rapture is from the 7th to the 22nd of May. Everybody get your tickets through the link that I'm going to have in the post or in the YouTube channel. Get along. Vanessa Perica, you are an absolute wondrous talent and a superb human being. What an absolute pleasure chatting with you. And I can't wait to see you when you get to Adelaide.
Oh, I'm so excited to meet you in the flesh, Marcus. It's been such a privilege and joy to talk to you. Thank you so much.
And you enjoy that beautiful view out your window there.
Thank you, I will.
When you hit Adelaide. Thanks, Vanessa.